But if there is a favorite to finish in the top two, it would be 27-year-old Josh Davis, triple gold medalist from the 96 Olympics. Most golds, Rowdy, by any American man at those games.
You know, I have seen Josh Davis take a lot of races out very fast, but I've never seen Josh take it out that fast.
And he's still ahead of world record pace at the halfway mark. Davis looks like he's going to win it, and Davis sets an American record. He breaks a 12-year-old mark. What a swim for Davis.
Welcome to the Ultimate Swimmer Podcast. I'm your host, three-time Olympic gold medalist and captain of the 2000 USA team, Josh Davis. Here at Ultimate Swimmer, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you to be the very best version of you, physically, mentally, and spiritually, on your swimming journey. This podcast is geared primarily for those of us in the aquatic disciplines of age group swimming, college swimming, para swimming, open water swimming, and master swimming. But we welcome all who are interested in peak performance, pursuing excellence, and swimming with purpose. So whether you are just starting out in the pool or you've been swimming your entire life, you were born for the water, and you were also born for greatness. So each week we will explore the 7 core habits of achieving greatness that will help take you to the next level in your journey to becoming an ultimate swimmer. This episode is brought to you by Breakout Swim Clinics, the longest-running swim clinic tour of swimming Olympians in U.S. history. Breakout Swim Clinics has been providing swim clubs with the biggest Olympic names for the best prices with gold medal service since 1997. Go to breakoutswimclinic.com and bring some of their great Olympians to your team to help your swimmers break out. Bigger names, better prices, gold medal service. Break out with the best. breakoutswimclinic.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Ultimate Swimmer Podcast show. I'm Josh Davis, and I am super excited about this week's guest. He is a multiple-time national champion in high school and college. In fact, one of the only guys in NC2A history to win the 100 and 200 in his respective events all 4 years in a row. Only 4 guys in history to do that. Unbelievable. American record holder in many backstroke events, short course meters and long course yards. He's a 3-time gold medalist at the last Olympics in Rio, now training for 2021 Tokyo. And he's the current world record holder in the 100-meter back. And he carries the incredible U.S. legacy that he's now the king of backstroke. And he's a true ultimate swimmer. Please welcome Ryan Murphy. Welcome to the show, Ryan. Thanks for being here, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that little intro. You're bringing the energy. I like it. I'm excited to be here too. I'm glad you're doing something like this, Josh. I feel like this is right in your wheelhouse.
Well, I love cheering on swimming. I love cheering on people like yourself who get it. You know, an ultimate swimmer is someone who works hard, has fun, and helps others. And you get it. You know, you've got that attitude of gratitude. You know how to work hard. You love to race. You love to give back. And so thank you for being on this show and letting us delve into your life and your swimming career and some of the decisions that you made that really set you apart. And so, gosh, I can't remember the first time you and I met, probably in high school when you started going to nationals and, you know, getting some international action. And we probably met on the pool deck, and we have many friends in common, you know, on the being USA alumni together. But I've just really enjoyed watching your trajectory. And so I just like you to take us back just a little bit into your childhood. Tell us where you were born, where you spent most of your life growing up, your first interactions with the water, and some your parents and family did well that kind of set you on a nice trajectory.
For sure. So I was born in Palos Heights, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago. And so I lived there for literally 6 months, and then we moved down to Jacksonville. So for the first 6 months of my life, my dad had gotten transferred in his job from Chicago to Jacksonville. So the first 6 months, I didn't know my dad. He was down in Jacksonville working. We were back in Chicago, waiting for the house to sell. And then once that happened, we packed up and moved to Jacksonville. When we got down there, we really we loved the hot weather in the summer. We were happy to get out of the Chicago winters, and so we'd always be the first kids, no matter what time of year. We'd be the first kids lining up to get into that pool. my parents were always there. They loved the pool as well. Neither of them actually swam growing up, but they loved the activity of swimming. So that's kind of how it started. I was the youngest of three. I was always just chasing around my older brother and older sister. They joined the summer league swim team. When I turned 4, I also joined. And when I first started, I mean, I hated it. Like I did not like going to the pool. I didn't like how cold it was. I didn't like the practices. I didn't like when the coaches told me to hold my breath. And I think all of that changed at the end of my first summer of swimming. We were gearing up for the country club swim league championships, and the coaches were picking the 6 and under 4x25 free relay. So they're like, all right, Ryan, you could keep on sitting on your mom's lap, or you could come up to the side of the pool and we're going to have a little swim off between you and Billy to see who gets on this 4x25 free relay. Billy was a guy who was on every sports team with me. Like we were on soccer together, baseball together, flag football. And I was like, all right, like Billy's a good athlete. I think I could beat him in this 25 free. So I get up, end up winning that swim off. And I think that's what kind of shocked me into loving the sport. And from there, I mean, I loved the training because I loved swimming faster at the end of the season. And that kind of idea has just kept up throughout my whole career. So here I am 21 years later, still with that same mindset.
The epic moments of summer league that were the foundation for so many of us.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Fall in love with the sport, to fall in love with the process, fall in love with competition. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was the same. I started summer league late, 11, 12, but same thing. You just, those moments, those relays, 4x25 relays, can't beat those.
Oh yeah. Great times. Absolutely epic times.
So it was kind of providential that you grew up in Jacksonville, where there's the top, one of the top clubs and high school prep schools in the world, Bulls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Folks come from all over. And Sergio was there, one of the top coaches in the world, happened to be there at that time. So things really came together to create a huge foundation for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been super lucky just in that aspect. Like I grew up, like you said, and kind of what has become a hot spot for swimming. So when I kind of went from that summer league swimmer into year round, I started off with a coach named Andre Solis Cunha. So he swam at Stanford, and he really knew his stuff. Like he was a very, very good technician, and that's kind of how I learned. When I turned 13, maybe I was 12. I went to Bulls, and that was huge for my development. And a large reason I went to Bulls is Andre actually moved out to Palo Alto, and is still coaching that team out here in Palo Alto. So when I went to Bulls, it was kind of the first time in my life that I would get beat every day. Like here I am an 8th grade kid, and I was coming off a year where I did really, really well as a 12-year-old. So I was like, you know what, I'm pretty good at this swimming thing. And I get there and you see what real swimmers look like. Like there were some absolute studs on a year-to-year basis that Bulls was pumping out. And so I learned how to chase when I got there, and that's kind of just the mindset we kept through those first couple of years. And the next year Joseph Schooling came in, and so that became a guy that it's like, all right, like every day me and Joseph are going to go head to head and see what each of us has got. The next year Santo Condorelli shows up, and he comes in, big time sprinter. So he adds a whole different type of element of personality flavor into the group. A guy who really likes to just go fast and made sure to take advantage of those fast sets. And then the next year, Caleb Dressel joins the team, and he was on the club team, so we'd only see him on Saturdays and summers. But he'd get in there, he'd work hard, add some more personality flavor to the group, and so it was. I mean, what a cool group to be a part of, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Sergio is a great mind, writes great practices. Everything kind of has a purpose, and but it's all pretty darn hard. And
yes, exactly. And Sergio, I think like I had him at kind of the perfect time in my career. Like Sergio is a guy, like you said, like he wants certain things to get done. But I would say probably his biggest asset as a coach is teaching his athletes how to believe in themselves. And so he did a lot of work with all of us to make sure that we felt like we belonged in those big heats. So I would say like as we went through my first Olympic trials in 2012. He was working with all of us to make sure that it's like, all right, like the expectation is you're going to go in there, you're going to swim really well, you're going to make a final. And when you get in that final, you're going to look around and say, I belong to be here. And that's kind of what we ended up building over that year. Like if we had Olympic trials in September of 2011, I would have been shaking in my boots if I made it an Olympic trial final. When I got there in the summer of 2012, I was still shaking in my boots, but a lot less so than I would have been.
Well, obviously you did great at 2012 trials. You went 53.9 in the 100 back, 157.3 in the 200 back, and you're the middle of high school. I mean, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. You definitely belonged in that final, getting 6th in the 100, 4th in the 200. And so many Olympians, like 90% of Olympians, they use the, how to say it, not the failures or disappointments, but they use their first trials as fuel for the next one. Like say, like Brendan Hansen just missed the 2000. He got 3rd in the 100 and 3rd in the 200 breast in trials in 2000. Well, he totally used that to break world records and get ready for and just kill it in 2004, 2008, 2012. Anyway, so so many athletes I can look back and say, the first trials was really a learning experience, really fuel for the fire for the next one. But you swam so well, it had to have pumped you up to kind of get ready for the next 4 years.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I think coming out of that meet, it just kind of added on to that belief system that Sergio was trying to implement in me and Joseph and Caleb and Santo. So coming out of that year, I mean, we were really, really excited about our potential. And no one came out of that meet thinking, and when I say that meet, like 3 of us at Olympic trials, and then Joseph went to the Olympics in 2012. No one came out of that summer thinking that they went their best times, like thinking that they absolutely reached their potential and could do nothing better. We all knew that was kind of just, we were at the start of the runway and we had to continue to build on that. And so it became a challenge. It's like, all right, like we did do really well. Let's build on that. How are we going to do that? How do we need to push each other to be even better next year? And that I do really think set the ball in motion, because I think 2013 was arguably a better summer for the entire group. Yeah.
So on a quick side note, we have a couple things in common. We both come from a big Irish family, which is fun. Mm-hmm. We both got 3 gold medals at our Olympics. And we were both national high school record holders in the 4x100 freestyle for high school. Let me tell you this quick story. In 87, Bowles had the record. 89, my public school, we broke it. The record was 3:02:61 by Bowles. We broke it at my school called Winston Churchill High School. We went 3:02:41. We broke it by 0.2 of a second. It stood for 19 years. And then in 2009, New Trier in Chicago, they had the rubber suits. Supposedly some of the guys had double rubber suits. I don't know. Anyway, they went like 3:00 and killed it. And I was like, oh man, we almost made it to the 20-year mark. And then you guys throw down not a 3:00, not a 2:59, not a 2:58, not a 2:57. Obviously, You guys went like a 2:54 in your high school relay.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's insane. That's most colleges dream about going that fast.
Yeah, it was sweet. Yeah,
you remember what was the orders in the splits for you guys on that national high school record 4x100 free relay? Do you remember? Because it was you, Santo, Joe, and who's the fourth guy?
I want to say it was Josh Booth on that relay.
Yeah.
So I remember I led off and I led off 42.9. Then Joseph jumped in. I think he was 43 low. Josh jumped in. I think he was 44 low. And then Santo, I want to say, split 42. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was a studly relay, and we all went 3 relays at that meet. So in high school swimming, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but in Florida, you can only do 4 events. So you could do either 2 individuals and 2 relays, or 1 individual and 3 relays. We all decided to go 3 relays, just because we were like, all right, we got some studs on this team. Like we might as well take
the national record.
Take advantage of that and try to see how fast we could go on those relays. So all of us went all out on our individual races and prelims. At night, maybe took it back a little bit to make sure that we won, but didn't expend too much energy so that we could be really, really solid on those relays. And I would say, yeah, probably the 400 free relay was probably our strongest. And that was the one where beforehand, one of our assistant coaches came up to the group and was like, all right, guys, like this is the big boy right here. Like this is the one that you guys can kind of put into the stratosphere and see how long this record can stand. It didn't really stand that long. Like the record already got broken a couple of years ago. But I mean, man, at the time, like we obliterated that national record.
You had to have been proud going 42.9 in high school. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's always fun to mix it up in the sprint events. You know, like I think, and even like taking that into college, like I absolutely loved being on those sprint relays.
Yeah, I mean, you're known for backstroke, and you get put to work as the backstroke workhorse for all the teams you're on and relays. But you've thrown down some incredible freestyle times on those relays, especially. But I mean, in another universe, if you just had to focus on the 100 free, you know, you'd be right in there with the big dogs. And
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm always trying to get better at freestyle. It's I think it's one of those things that's just a little bit more challenging for me to totally figure out the stroke. Like when I swim backstroke, I could be feeling good, I could be feeling bad. I kind of know how to. I could just swim pretty well no matter how I'm feeling. Yeah. Freestyle is a stroke where it's like I definitely have to be feeling good. Right. If I'm not feeling good, I'm not really going that fast. If I'm feeling good, I mean, I could throw down some really, really good freestyle sets in practice. I've never actually felt good in a meet when I've done the 100 free. So who knows? That could be something where like one of these days I feel great, just pop one off and call it for that event. But yeah, I mean, it just is interesting how like the different strokes feel and like how we adjust to it.
Yeah. You know, I spent, my 30 years as a freestyler, and I felt like my free felt different almost every day for 30 years. And sometimes I'd find the zone, sometimes I'd find a groove and kind of lock in. But, just every day is a little bit different. Stroke, you can kind of zero in and lock in sometimes a little bit easier, I think, as well. But real quick, just the last thing about high school, what was something y'all did in your training regimen, in your drills, in your weights, in your dry land? Was there something that stuck out that said, yeah, we did this very well? Sergio really instilled this particular drill, this particular set, this particular dry land. I mean, what was it that really set you guys apart? Does anything come to mind that you harken back to those bowls day that really set you apart?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I mean, one was we were expected to go really fast in practice. Like when there's a couple of coaches where they say fast, but like it's more of like a best average when they say that. When Sergio said fast, I mean, you were expected to really, really lay it on the line and put up some pretty impressive times. So we were doing that immediately. Like we were going really, really fast in practice and going fast often. And then I think another thing that we did really well was, I don't know if we did it well, but it was super fun. We would just go dry land in the mornings. So we would essentially go in, do about an hour and a half of dry land, get in the water for like 15, 20 minutes and call it a morning. But we would get after it on the dry land. Like we would be doing med balls, we'd be doing boxing, jump rope. Didn't really do weights like as a group. Like my senior year, Sergio had like me, Joseph, and Santo go in and just do like some quick reps like here and there. But as a group, I mean, we were really just in on the med balls, abs, boxing, jump rope, and we got super intense. Like guys would come in headbands, like armbands, like get the music going. There'd be a lot of screaming involved, and it was just a cool time. Just letting the guys be guys, and then like it would kind of be stations. So the guys would be at one station, the girls would be at another. We flip, and I thought that was just a really cool thing that we did.
Yeah, so he had it all lined up for 90 minutes of good movement, good sweat, good intensity.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of different stations. That's awesome. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah. Oh yeah. And there'd be days coming out of that. I mean, when you're in high school, you feel everything immediately. So we'd be doing like, if we did like a big leg day, like I'd be walking up the stairs during school that day and just be like, ooh, like that does not feel good. But I mean, the great thing about being in high school is I felt great the next day.
Yeah, it paid off. Well, I think, when you're able to go to the next level with dry lands and you learn how to connect to the core, use the body, and, anytime a swimmer, especially a high school swimmer, can take their weights in the dry lands to the next level, it is going to translate back to the water.
I wanted to take a moment from this fascinating interview to let you know about a new partner for the Ultimate Swimmer podcast, and that is SwimShare. SwimShare is a free workout riding tool. Just Google SwimShare, all one word, SwimShare. And you can put in today's workout in just a few clicks, and it sends and stores all your workouts within seconds. The first workout you'll see on there is one of my favorites from yours truly. Check out SwimShare and take your workouts to the next level. Send, store, and share your swimming masterpieces with SwimShare.
What schools were you looking at? What did your choices come down to when you were looking at colleges?
Yeah, so I took 5 trips. So I went to Florida, Auburn, Texas, Cal, and Stanford.
And Stanford had that backstroke tradition. Of course, Texas is awesome. Everybody knows that. Yeah. And you're a Florida guy.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half away from Florida.
Auburn was still kind of just off its big high point.
Yeah, I mean that was a tough decision. I think I looked at a lot of different things. The first is that I wanted to go to a school that I wouldn't have gotten into without swimming. So like that was a big thing for me. It's like,
so you wanted the academic challenge.
Yeah. And it's like, I think it was, I mean, you take advantage of what you got, if I'm getting into a Cal or Stanford or Texas and Florida and Auburn are great schools too. But if I'm getting into those schools, it's like, all right, like I could tear my ACL tomorrow, my swimming career could be over. I'm going to be in a really good spot, to take advantage academically.
Yeah.
Next thing I looked at is more swimming focused. It's like, all right, like who are the guys I'm going to be around? And I know these guys are going to fluctuate year over year, but you could get a sense for the culture pretty good on a recruiting trip. And so with the Cal guys, I just felt like these are people that are very comfortable in their own skin. Like there were some pretty eclectic personalities, and and everyone embraced that. And that was something that was celebrated, as opposed to like, all right, like here's what's cool, here's what everyone's going to do, like blah blah blah. Like the individuality focus, I thought was incredible, and I picked up on that right away. Like there were no games and there was no acting. It was just like, if people wanted to talk to me on my recruiting trip, they would talk to me, and they talked to me about anything. They'd be very honest about their experience at Cal, and I really appreciated that. And then on the swimming front, I wanted to go to a school that had a similar philosophy to what got me good. So something that was decently similar to what I had success with at Bowles. But then I also wanted coaches that were young and hungry. You know, like I was going through this process in 2013, and the way I was thinking is, it's like, all right, best case scenario for my career, I'm swimming through 2024 or 2028. I want this to be the last time I pick a new coach. And so I did try to think in the future. It's like, all right, looking at 2024 to 2028, which of these coaches is still going to be there? And so when you put all that together, that led me to choose Cal.
Yeah. Well, by then, Dave Durden had, created a great legacy already, even by then, of excellence. And so I remember speaking to his team when he first took over the team in 2007. And within months, he was turning around the culture. I mean, it was just awesome.
Oh, yeah.
His leadership is just wonderful, and his the way he plans his seasons and his weeks and his practices are just superb. So I can totally – it was a perfect fit. You went to the right place. And so I'm excited for you. I'm just always curious how people, make that decision, especially a guy like yourself that could really go anywhere. So thanks for sharing that. Life at Berkeley is good. You get to train outdoors, got great teammates, great coaches. Like you had Joe at Bowles, now you had Jacob at Berkeley. I mean, talk about how great it is to have teammates to push you every day. And
yeah. I mean, I think those same lessons I learned in like 8th grade freshman year at Bowles, I had to kind of relearn that when I got to Cal. Like as I went through those last couple of years at Bowles, like if I was having a bad practice, I could still potentially I'd still be leading the lane, and I could still potentially be like winning some sets. If I have a bad practice at Cal, I'm getting worked. Like no one, like every single person that comes into Cal was the best person on their club team. And that's just the fact of the matter. So like no one likes to lose. And everyone's really, really talented. So like you go in and say it's something that I'm not good at. So something I'm not good at is just these long aerobic freestyle sets. Like that's a weakness of mine. So if we go in, we're doing a long aerobic freestyle day. I mean, even if I'm having a great practice, I'm getting beat. If I'm having a bad practice, like I'm basically at the end of the lane. So like if they take me and they're like, all right, we're going to put you kind of with the distance guys, I got to make sure I'm on top of my game. But then getting back to Jacob, I totally sidestepped. Getting back to Jacob, I mean, it was so cool to train with someone that had pretty much the same goals. Like we were swimming the same events at NCAAs, we're swimming the same events at Olympic trials, both swimming backstroke. And so like every single day we would line up next to each other for a couple of years there. Like it didn't matter what the practice was. We're like, all right, like we're gonna race. We're gonna keep on going after this, and it was just very, very healthy competition. Like we're both pretty relentless in terms of like going after our dreams, and so it worked out great. Like he's a guy who's willing to push himself super hard. I'm a guy that's willing to push myself super hard, and so there definitely be some battles in there.
Yeah. It's a great verse in the Old Testament. It says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And
exactly.
I mean, day after day, you guys were sharpening each other, but it seemed healthy. It seemed almost comforting. You guys got used to it, and you were just stronger every season because of it. and it made competing against the rest of the world kind of easy.
Yeah, and I think the thing we always kind of took into the races is, and especially on the international level, you get two guys in these individual events for the US. And so it's like all right, like we just got to be those two guys. And that was kind of where we kept it. And so it was definitely a very healthy thing where it's like, all right, we're pushing each other forward. Like I wanted to get on the Olympic team in 2016, and I wanted him to be on the Olympic team in 2016. So I think we did a really, really nice job with managing both, like the swimming competitiveness, and then when we were out of the pool, it's like we're buddies. Like we were buddies, we are buddies. Like even though he's not at Cal anymore, like we definitely have a good relationship.
Yeah, that's cool. I just appreciate you guys pushing each other, and you guys making so many teams together. It's just kind of a cool part of the backstroke history for USA. And totally. But you got some nice other teammates pushing you. Nathan Adrian's pretty good. Andrew Seliscar's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
So, Josh.
Yeah, I think it's cool, like the roles that everyone fills. I think like I was a business major at Bulls, and I was talking about this the other day. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because we were able to kind of mix around some of our training groups to get around the college guys a little bit more. The way I think of Nathan is like chairman of the board, like Nathan or like the Godfather, like all of us want to be like Nathan. All of us want to have a career like Nathan has had, like the level, like his peak, incredible. The level of consistency, I mean, it's essentially like the peak is just boom, he's kept it. He's just kept it for like an absurd amount of years.
I know. We're going on 11 years of wonderful execution.
Exactly. So he fits an incredible role, and he's a great mentor to all of us. And then you've got kind of like the next oldest would be Tom Shields, and Tom brings a wealth of knowledge to the pool deck, and really like is a great teammate in terms of like helping us out if we want it, and man, like he loves to work. So he comes in, he will push his body to the absolute limit, and that's great to be around. And then you've got Josh Bruneau, who's similar. Like Josh Bruneau loves to work, and that's great to be around. And then you've got also in the pro group, you've got Selly. And Selly brings some great personality to the pool deck, and I mean, what a talent! Like, God, the guy can swim everything.
I know he's awesome.
And so that's awesome. It's awesome to swim with him, because it's like, all right, like, man, what stroke is Selly going to be doing today? Because whatever he does, it's going to be pretty dang good.
Oh yeah, you got to be on your A game to beat him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's cool. Well, I want to talk briefly about your college career. It's pretty epic. Your freshman year, you win 100, 200 back, set the record in your freshman year, 200 back. Sophomore year, you finally break the 100 record, win both 100 and 200 sophomore year. Junior year, you crush both records, but Caleb has a great meet. Joe has a great meet. So the three of you share the MVP. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was first time in history, and you guys were all old teammates for bowls.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, your senior year, you make it 8 for 8, win the 100, 200 back in 2017. Tell us a little bit about any of those swims that really stand out to you, any of those epic college moments that stand out to you that maybe not other people may know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy when you like kind of frame it like that, because it's like when I went in, it's like, all right, like I'm just trying to have great swim meets. And then you kind of look back after the 4 years and you're like, man, that was a good college career. And that's kind of the way we did it. It's just like day after day, kept on pushing the envelope. I would say like a college moment that stands out. would probably be freshman year. So freshman year going into that last day, we were locked into a good team battle with Texas. Your alma mater. Alma mater. Why, that is a hard word to say. You were probably in the stands. It was in Austin.
Because we had all the crazy Bear alumni on one side and a bunch of crazy Longhorns on the other side.
Exactly. That was sweet. That was so sweet. But we went in that last day, and obviously we really wanted to win that meet. And so going into the final, we had the milers kind of going off in the afternoon. In the second to last heat of the mile, that's still in the afternoon, our guy dropped, I don't know how much time Jeremy Bagshaw dropped, but he dropped a lot of time. Ended up getting second overall, second or third.
Yeah.
But that was unexpected, and that was huge for us. Yeah. So then going into the actual finals, I was the first, I guess me and Pebs were the first swimmers of our night for Cal, and that was the A final of the 200 back. So we go in there, we get 1-3, and so that was huge. We were like, all right, like we did our job. Next heat, Tyler Messerschmidt goes in the B final of the 100 free. He wins, and like by that point, like there's right after the race, you get out, you do your medal ceremony, and then you warm down. So there's a decent amount of time between heats. So I was like kind of in the middle of starting my warm down as Messerschmidt goes, he crushes it. By that point, I'm out of the pool. Like my warm down's over. So if this thing comes down to the 4 free relay, I'm going to be hurting. But
you just want to cheer so bad and be a part of it.
Exactly, because it was just so fun to watch. You just saw like every heat we were kind of outperforming what we thought we could do. And we had wrapped up the meet by the diving break, and so that was just a sweet night. Like it was nice because like my swim was good, but going through that, and especially at your first NCAA's, to have that sort of team experience was just unreal. And I can still remember like I got drug tested right after that session, so I went in. That was the fastest drug test I ever did. I went in there, I peed in the cup, went out, and the vans were waiting, and there was like a dance party going on outside of our vans when I got out there. So that was just really cool. Like everyone was so pumped that we were able to pull that out. And so that's an experience that I will 100% never forget.
Yeah. It is fun to win NC2As. We won my freshman year in Texas, in Austin, and before the 400 free relay, it was us and USC. This is back in '91, and I remember our team captain Sean Jordan pulled me aside. I was leading off the 400 free relay as a freshman, and he pulled me aside and said, "Don't screw this up." I said, "Okay," and I did my job. And we won the relay and we won the meet, and we just went nuts, and it was so fun. It's so fun.
So fun.
Well,
you really can't beat NCAA swimming. It's incredible.
And we didn't have the Berkeley, Texas epic battle for 2020, so hopefully we get one for March of 21. Just a few short months away from the next one. Who knows how many spectators they'll let us in, but maybe we'll be in the stands cheering that in March.
I know. Fingers crossed. I think, I know all the guys were super bummed. I mean, obviously the situation was really tough in March with that getting canceled. But yeah, I think, they're in a good spot. They're really looking forward to this year.
Yeah. Any crazy sets, anything that you did in your college years that really helped you out? Did you have a favorite drill, favorite set, favorite kind of go-to thing that you kind of locked in and made it a part of your routine for excellence?
I think in terms of sets, I mean, there are so many good ones. Like Like it was really fun. A lot of these practices, and I think so. I guess there are like probably two sets that I thought were good when I was in college. Is first one very simple. Like you're kind of just like warming up throughout the practice, like doing pace 50s, doing like hundreds free descend. And then at the end, coaches were like, all right, like 3 100s descend, pick your own interval, descend down to fast. But we want it to be like a tighter interval. So I was sitting there and Yuri was one of our coaches at the time, Yuri Sugiyama. I was like, Yuri, what do you think about going on 105? Because it was a long course. And
wow.
yeah, so I did 3 100s back on 105 long course. And I want to say I was still trying to descend the effort. So I think I was a minute high, a minute low, 59 low. Wow. So that one, I thought that one was pretty impressive or pretty good. And then another one, I'll go through two more. So another one we would do a lot is 24 100s on 130. Every third one best average. So we did this one up at altitude, and I was backstroke. So through that, I want to say I started off at like 00 for the first one, then dipped into 59s for the next couple, 58s for the next couple. I think I held, and then I think the last two, I think I was 57, 56.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I got moving at the end of that one, and that was I think that was my junior year. That was my junior or senior year of college. And then another one we did my junior year was 2050s, 10 on a minute, be at pace, and then 10 on 120 best average. So I was like 28 mids on the 10 at pace, and I was feeling great that day, I remember. So I was 26 mids for the 10 best average, which was that was a good one for me.
Yeah, that's long course.
Yeah.
Just want everybody to make sure they knew that was long course. So
yeah.
Because for some kids, that's actually pretty good for short course, but you were doing that long course.
Yeah. Yeah, those are fun ones. I mean, there's honestly no better feeling than when you take a set like that and you're feeling good, you get into a nice rhythm and you start throwing down some fast times. Like I absolutely love doing that.
Now, your strength and your catch and your spin are outstanding, and your dolphins are a great weapon. But maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you know how Phelps and Lochte, they're just like natural born dolphin kickers with their knees and their just the way they were born. And then there's guys like Pearsall and Dave Plummer. They're not natural born dolphin kickers. They had to work real hard at it, and they made it a weapon so they can come up just a little bit ahead of everybody else and do their thing. How would you describe your natural backstroke ability? Did you always have a good spin? Did you always have a good dolphin? Did you always have a good catch, or did you just kind of have to keep plugging away at those things?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start with like the dolphin kick. Like at a young age, my coach always made me go under to 15 meters. So like I was like at the age of like 9, my coach would be like, only in the races. Like in practice, he didn't make me do this every turn. But in the race, he'd be like, all right, Ryan, like you got a 50 back coming up. Let's go under 15 meters off the start, see how that goes. And I was terrible at underwaters. So I had to like go, I'd do a couple kicks, but I followed directions well. So I went under to 15 meters, was slowing down so much, but I just kind of got into that habit. He would tell me that every meet, like, all right, let's just go under to 15 meters on the start and maybe the last turn. And it just kind of like built from there. And then in terms of like the swimming piece, backstroke is the only stroke when I was younger, I was a little bit stubborn with accepting stroke advice. Whenever a coach would give me stroke advice, I wouldn't listen. Just because like when they would tell me advice, like it didn't feel as good as what I was doing. And I think when I started swimming, we were still really into the super deep catch. And so that's what I was always told. It's like, all right, like you really got to drive that catch down. And I was doing a shallow catch at like the age of 8.
Wow.
And I could just tell that it felt better.
Yeah.
And so I think the natural catch was always there. In terms of the tempo, that's something that I've really had to work at. My tempo was always so slow growing up in backstroke, and Sergio put a lot of effort into getting me to move my arms faster. And it was actually a talk that Sergio had with Aaron Pearsall. Like he went to Texas my junior year of high school and was watching race video with Aaron Pearsall. Like he requested Aaron's time and was like, all right, like I've got this kid, what do I do with him? And what Aaron's feedback is Sergio first showed him a race of the 100 back, and Aaron's like, the kid looks like he's swimming to 200. So like you got to figure out how to get his arms moving. And so Sergio came back, and that was his goal. It was, all right, like we're gonna figure out how to get the tempo going. And so that's something that we started to train a lot.
That's cool. That's cool. That's what I teach at the clinics. If you want to win, learn to spin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, to a point, I could spin too hard and lose all the water. But I mean, I think it's super important to get that tempo going.
I call it spin with big hands, where you're really grabbing the water, really making sure the arm is catching everything, but you're always throwing it into the air. Yeah,
that is perfect right there.
I want to take a quick break from this super fun interview to tell you about an awesome new resistance tool I found at gmx7training.com. Swimming with the GMX7 training resistance system allows me and my swimmers to not just go 25s, but 50s and beyond. GMX7 training allows you to get strength gains faster, engage the core more, feel the catch of the water better, and get more work done in less time. gmx7training.com. Don't just get strong, get swimming strong. Check it out at gmx7training.com.
When you and I did a clinic in my hometown in San Antonio 2 years ago, and so I was commentating while you were demonstrating for the kids. We had like 100 kids that day. It was a great crowd. Everybody was so excited to see you. It was 2017, 2018, so pretty fresh off Rio, and you brought your gold medals, and it was awesome. And you warmed up a little bit, and I said, okay, do a 50 back, kind of medium, and you pushed like a 22 from a push. I was like, oh my gosh. And then we were doing freestyle, and I said, here, warm up a little freestyle, do some drills. And I said, well, kind of go fast on a 50 free. And I think you went like, I don't know, 21.9 or 22.0 from a push. And I was like, oh man, must be nice. So anyway, I just want to say thanks for putting on a good show for the kids in San Antonio at our clinic together. That was a fun day.
Of course, I'm super competitive. I never want to go slow. If I'm going slow, it's just because I can't go fast.
That's a great attitude to have, and I think that's what the great swimmers do. Is you want to go fast. You want to ride that wave.
It just feels better. It feels better when you're going fast. When you're going slow, it's like, all right, like the arms feel heavy. It's like, oh, this is not ideal.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I want to close with just a few more things. There's a concept that I teach at the clinics and in the different webinars and the different times I get to spend time with kids. I explain to them that healthy relationships produces low stress, which equals fast swimming. And so basically, when you have, you're right with your family, you're right with your friends, and you have this healthy relationship with a lot of unconditional love and service to others, that creates what we call a happy heart. And that happy heart means you have a mind and a body that's freed up to go fast. And so the formula is healthy relationships equals low stress equals fast swimming. And you have done a great job surrounding yourself with great friends. Your family's been awesome, just a lot of unconditional love. And you get it. You enjoy serving others. And I really believe that's created in you a happy heart that's freed your mind and body up to race and be free to go all out. You just kind of can get rid of a lot of fears and doubts and just go for it. We all have fears and doubts, but when you get along with others and you know your family loves you, you've got that support system, I think it really helps you out. Can you comment just a little bit about what your family's done for you and how you put the right people in your life and spend time with the right people?
Yeah. I mean, you nailed it. Like, I think if you want to be the best, you've got to surround yourself with the best. And so, I mean, you don't get to pick your family, but like, I think my family is the best. So I think they've kind of, they've done they're just awesome. Like, I would say, starting with my grandpa. Like, my grandpa is the man. Like, he writes math textbooks for a living. Like, that is his job. So he's written over 100 math textbooks. Totally self-made, like, incredible guy, incredible mind, and an incredible mentor to me. My dad grew up as a football player. Like, he grew up in Chicago. Everyone plays football. So he was a offensive tackle, defensive end. Had a pretty bad injury in high school, and he kind of just took that and was like, and he was really good. Like, he was getting recruited to Notre Dame, FSU, like the top football programs in the country. And he kind of just took that injury and was like, all right, like, I'm not playing football again, so what am I going to do? Gets his college degree in accounting, and the guy works harder than anyone I've ever seen. Like, it's just incredible to see the type of work ethic that he has, and just a great role model. My mom is master's in math. She co-authored a book with her dad, but it's just like the best mom ever. Like, she'll drop anything to talk to us, and she's a connector of people. Like, what's really nice about my mom is, at this point, all of the kids are pretty busy. Like, we've got a lot going on, and my mom, when I talk to her, I feel like I'm talking to like 12 different people, because she's going to give me the updates on every single person, and that's great. Like, that's awesome that she's so dialed into everyone's needs, what everyone's going through. My sister is just like, she's so chill, like, she could not care less that I'm trying to be the best swimmer possible. She just wants to hear, like, all right, like, how are you doing? Like, how are you happy? Like, how's Bridget? How's your girlfriend? Like, how are you doing? And I really appreciate that. And then my brother is the guy where it's like, if I'm ever like super excited, you can just say things that you can't say to other people with your brother. Like, if I'm feeling really, really good about myself, and if I say it to my friends, it'd be like, all right, that's like super cocky. I'll say it's my brother, and he hypes me up, and I do the same for him. And so, like, that's a really, really healthy relationship. And I've been surrounded by great coaches, great teammates, throughout my entire career. So you definitely don't you don't reach your potential on your own. You need people to help push you to that level. And I've just been super fortunate to have that.
Yeah. Great shout out to your family. And I think that's where you got you got a natural business entrepreneurial spirit to you. I've noticed that in our conversations. We've been doing clinics together and traveling around, and you're always kind of reading something about business, preparing for the next business thing and the next chapter of your life. And I love that. I think that's great advice and great something that all of us should do. Always keep learning, always broaden your horizons, always be building relationships, always be thinking about the next thing. And I think you've done a great job of that. Maybe you can touch on some some of the business relationships you have right now. Maybe give a shout out to some of your sponsors and some of the cool projects you've been able to do with your sponsors this last couple seasons.
Yeah, I'm definitely super into business, and I try to keep tabs on everything that's going on. So yeah, I mean, all of my news comes from CNBC. That's how I get it all. But in terms of my partners, I've got Speedo, who I've been with since 2017, and they've been a fantastic partner. Like they treat me really well, and they put me in great technology. So I'm really thankful for that relationship. I'm also with a company called Goldfish Swim School. So I'm drinking out of their water bottle right now.
Yeah.
They're just incredible people. So I really love the people in that company, and then the business model is really impressive too. Like they're putting over 100,000 kids in swim lessons per month. And I think you can even take that down per week because it's a monthly subscription. So they get 100,000 kids per week. And so they're doing a ton of work to grow our sport. And that's really cool. On more of like the professional side, I have a good relationship with the International Swim League. And again, like one of the things I'm really passionate about is growing the sport. I think Goldfish is doing so much great work at the grassroots level. And then also the USA Swimming Foundation. I'm involved with them too. Really great work at the grassroots level to grow our sport. I think ISL is doing a great job at the professional level to give kids role models to look up to. Like I looked up to so many swimmers when I was growing up, and I think ISL is doing a great job of creating a profile for kids to look up to, and constant content for kids to look at. Another one of my partners is Bridgestone Tires. So their whole message is safety, safety on the road, but then also performance when it matters. And those are two things that I'm very passionate about. Also involved with the Tom Coughlin J Fund. They're a foundation that supports families that have a child with cancer. And Tom Coughlin is a Jacksonville legend. So when that opportunity arose, I said yes immediately. So they're doing a really great work of one, like having me get on a Zoom call with a kid who's going through chemotherapy. Like that's something that's really powerful. Probably more powerful for me than it is for those kids. Those kids are incredibly confident, and the things that they have been through is crazy, and they've come out on top. And then they also provide financial support for the families, because a lot of the time when you have a kid that's going through chemotherapy, one of the parents has to give up a job to make sure that their kids are receiving the best care.
Yeah, wow, that's cool. Well, you formed some great partnerships, and you mentioned ISL. Real quick, can you give us kind of a little synopsis of your 6 weeks in the ISL bubble, training, racing? Who were some of your training partners? Who was kind of your main coach? Things you learned? What's your takeaways from this second season of ISL?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm coming out of ISL very confident. I feel really good about what I accomplished there, and just kind of like the level of commitment, the level of rest I had out there. So going in, it was, we were, all the Cal training guys were on the LA Current. So I had myself, Tom Shields, Celiscar, Prino. We brought in Katie McLaughlin and Abby Weitzel. And for the first couple of weeks, Will Cone was swimming with us a lot. Who's just what an A+ guy. Like that guy is incredibly nice, incredibly hardworking. Maxime Rooney would come in from time to time. Jacob Heidman from Germany. we brought him in for a couple practices, and he's like a 400 free, 400 IM guy. So we knew that he was a guy that could train. And so that's kind of why we were like, all right, come over with us to have another guy that could push us pretty hard in the training. In terms of things I learned, I mean, it's just great to get out to race again, man. Like, I miss that so much. I'm someone where I do really like to train, and I could get so dialed into the training, but like, not everything I do in training is a one-to-one with getting faster. You know, like I think this is going to help me improve, but I don't know exactly. When you're going out and racing that much, like it's immediate feedback that you have to put into action really quickly. So I think I was doing that a lot, especially through those last couple meets. So it's just good to know that, like, all right, I can see something, make the adjustment pretty quickly and put it into action for the next meet, and just get up and race hard. So it was a great time.
That really is the perfect combination of feedback, you know, training and that much racing, you know, and you can just kind of keep building. And I just loved it for you guys. I just thought it was the perfect thing for the world of swimming, for us to cheer you on and keep up with you and watch you guys do your thing. But it was perfect for you guys, you know, to get racing, because the rest of the world is kind of shut down and hurting. So I'm so happy you guys had a place to stay sharp and to make great friendships and just build that confidence into this last couple cycles leading into Tokyo. Just any last words of encouragement to any kids out there, you know, struggling with motivation and hard sets and struggling to get perspective, you know, trying to fall in love with the sport. You've been several years as a pro now. You've had plenty of hard days, plenty of hard sets. Your body doesn't recover as much as it used to. You know, there's lots of ups and downs. Any last closing thoughts, how to stay motivated, how to enjoy the process?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is finding your own path. I mean, I think there's, especially now, like with all these podcasts going on, it's like you could get so much information, and it's like what works for me is not necessarily going to work for little Johnny in Montana. You know, like the way that I think might be a little bit different than the way someone else thinks. I want to watch something funny. I want to be joking around with friends. When I get to the pool, it's like I want to take care of work, and so I could get pretty intense like at the pool, but then you learn how to shut it off right when you get out of the pool. So figure out what works for you. Other people, they want to stay completely relaxed at all times, and so I think. Yeah, this is a great opportunity for everyone to just figure out like what works for them and what's gonna help them feel motivated on a day-to-day basis. If you're motivated, man, everything else is gonna figure itself out. Because if you're motivated, you're gonna figure out how to improve. You're gonna come in, work hard, and if you're working hard and you're looking for areas to improve, you're gonna get better.
That's good advice. So have you and Durden sat down and kind of looked at the timeline, getting ready for mid-June for the Olympic trials, and kind of planned it out a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, as much as we can, you know, I think, you know, it's just kind of like very general ideas for months. Like I don't need to be involved in writing everything. I just like to know an outline. And so that's kind of how we communicate. It's like, all right, like I know that for the past 4 weeks, Dave was really just trying to hammer us as hard as he could in everything, in weights and swimming and in yardage and intensity. It's like we're getting hit from every angle. And then, I mean, we'll honestly probably carry that through the next couple of weeks, and then it's like, all right, we're kind of out of this winter training mode, and then we start looking at events, and it's like, all right, we're going to try to be really good, come out of this.
So speaking of the routine, what is your dream routine as a pro swimmer? And maybe you found it with Dave, but how many swims a week do you do? How many lifts do you do? You know, what time is your ideal morning practice, ideal afternoon practice? Just give us, what is your dream schedule?
Yeah, honestly, like this sounds so crazy. I just like to get up and get it done, So like, I think.
So you don't mind the early morning?
No, not anymore. I used to hate it, but I don't have a problem going to bed at 9 p.m. anymore.
Wow.
Maybe I'm getting old, but I actually really enjoy going to bed at 9 p.m. So I like right now I really like our schedule because we're going 9 water workouts a week. So we'll go doubles on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are out of the water right now at 2:30. And so like I get out on the double days and it's like I still got some day. And so it's like it's nice that like I'm done with all of my workouts and it's like I have some freedom of how I want to spend like the end of the afternoon into the night. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, we're rolling like 7:45 to, I mean, today it was like 11:10, but it's normally like 7:45 to 11.
Right. So Tuesday, Thursday is kind of a big 3-hour thing, and then that's it.
Yeah. And we got, like, when I say that, we had a lift in there today.
Right.
Or we've had a lift on Tuesdays and Thursdays to break it up a little bit. So it's like an hour of lifting and then go swim. Yeah.
So it's an hour lift, transfer to the pool, an hour and 45 minutes of swimming. Do you go the whole 2 hours, just like an hour and a half to hour and 45?
It depends. I mean, it really depends on like the type of practice or the day. Today was tough. We got out of the weights and we got in and we went 2 hours of more like long swimming. So yeah. Today was a burner for that.
That's cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. So last little thing is lightning round of questions. Your favorite stuff, favorite color?
Blue.
Yeah, cool. Favorite food, dessert, restaurant, favorite food thing?
Steak. And I guess to be specific, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Unreal.
The best, maybe.
Yeah.
Favorite pool you've ever raced in?
Ooh, that's a good one. I do really like the Texas pool. I think that might be there. That might be my favorite.
That's cool. Great answer. Oh, by the way, do you still do the peanut butter and jelly sandwich thing for your snacks?
Of course.
Guy, the PBJ guy. It works. I love that. Favorite city you've ever visited for a swim meet or as a tourist? Favorite city that you've been to in the world?
Monaco.
Yeah, that's a good one. Favorite event, 50, 100, or 200 back? And would it be short course meters, or long course? You got to pick one of the 9.
God. I mean, I think 100 back short course yards is really fun. Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard for me to say that 200 is my favorite because I have to put in so much effort for, especially a 200 long course. Like, man, that's not an easy event. So 100 yards that's a great event. You get in, you get out, you feel fast, and you've got to be good enough at swimming to perform well. So I like the 100-yard back.
That's cool. Well, hopefully you'll get to swim some yards, shaved and tapered, maybe after Tokyo or some pro meet somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up, but we'll see.
Your record's safe for a little while, and world record is solid, and I know you want to go under that, and we're going to be cheering you at the trials, cheering you, Lord willing, at Tokyo, and just want to thank you for being an inspiration to so many swimmer kids and swimmer people across the world and America, and we're going to be cheering you on, and thanks again for being an ultimate swimmer, a guy who gets it, who loves to give back, loves to work hard, loves to have fun, and can't wait to see you around the pool soon.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And then I really appreciate about you that you're someone that is really pushing the sport forward, in terms of, one, you help out the national team athletes a lot in terms of your clinics. And then 2, you get kids motivated. And that's what we all want. We want kids that are passionate about this sport to carry this on as as we're going to move out of the sport at some point. And so you're doing a great thing, and I think this podcast fits your personality perfectly. So I really appreciate you having me on.
That means a lot, and we'll get some more Ryan Murphys out there building up their backstrokes and their skills, and we can keep the great backstroke legacy going for USA.
That's right.
All right. Hey, we'll see you next time. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, later.
I want to take a moment to tell you about my favorite swim cap, the Hammerhead Swim Cap. It's the safest, fastest, longest lasting, most comfortable swim cap in the world. Its one-of-a-kind patented honeycomb shock-absorbing technology will prevent concussions. And the Hammerhead cap has no wrinkles to ensure top speed with the least resistance. And it's super comfortable. That's easy to get on and easy to get off, and it will never tear. This is the last cap you will ever need to buy. Safety and speed, all at hammerheadswimcaps.com. Thank you for joining us on this Ultimate Swimmer podcast. We hope you enjoyed hearing from these Olympians and life champions and how certain habits and decisions help them on their journey, and they can help you too. If there is an Ultimate Swimmer from your team that you would like to nominate that we can recognize on our show, just email me at josh@joshdavis.com. That's josh@joshdavis.com. And tell us about how your Ultimate Swimmer is making a difference in your swimming community. And that's the goal, to make a difference and swim with purpose. Not only are you getting better, but you're helping those around you get better too. When you realize you were born for the water, born for greatness, and born to serve others, you are on your way to becoming an Ultimate Swimmer. I'm Josh Davis. Until next time, keep streamlining and keep smiling. See you around the pool soon.